the CMO of Cozy Earth, who he was the head of and a part of what I think was one of the most creative, unique campaigns
Yeah.
that we have seen on the
Yeah.
internet, period. It was Mr. Beast like, okay,
Yes.
but it was product associated and affiliated. And it turned into some of the best entertainment that I
Yeah.
think our sector of the interwebs has seen. And we need to get him in here, get his background, and talk about all the good things happening at Cozy Earth. I'm talking about the one and only George Davis. George, get in here. Get in here.
What's up, guys? Nice to see you guys. This is freaking cool, by the way. I'm amazed. I'm like, really cool. I was thinking I would break some things. It wouldn't go well. It's gone extremely well. Very smooth so far. So.
All right, great, nice. Man. Well, brother, we've been looking forward to getting you in here, bro. Here's what I would love to start out with, George. You got to give everybody some context on you, because I think when people normally think of CMO, they think, they started working like 30 years ago, okay, and they cut their teeth somewhere, and then there's no way you can start at the bottom where you are and work your way all the way to the top, because of it's like the little boy syndrome. It's like, oh, what a good little boy, he's always and he'll never be anything else to us. You are the opposite of that. You started as a marketing associate, somewhere at Cozy Earth, and now you're at the tippity top. You're the CMO, brother. How did you get here, man? Give us some context on yourself.
Okay, all right. I can do that. So I started at Cozy Earth when we had like 4 employees, so that helps. It's a lot harder to go into like a really, a developed company and start at the bottom and work your way up. But when I started, we had like 4 guys. I was actually doing customer service. I noticed that on my LinkedIn. I wasn't a marketing associate. I was doing customer service, and then I would do a little bit of marketing.
Let's go.
And when I interviewed for the job, I was actually exploring like doing my own digital marketing agency, and I knew the founder, and I was like, okay, you have, you're doing something in e-com, a little bit about digital marketing. Let me pick your brain. And when I was sitting down with him, he's like, why don't you come work for me? You'll learn a lot. You can do customer service. I'll throw you some marketing projects. Like, that honestly sounds pretty cool. I was getting married. I needed to kind of de-risk my life. So
there we go.
At Cozy Earth. And then at the time we were doing like $1 million a year, relatively small. A lot of that revenue was coming through trade shows.
Wow.
And we got Oprah's Favorite Things, and things started to pick up a little bit. We got Good Morning. Most of our sales were coming through Good Morning America, believe it or not.
Crazy.
It was crazy times. We were out of inventory for like 4 months, legit, like every single SKU. Anyway, it was time. So then I slowly, as the org grew and the online business grew, we needed a body really to like do the marketing work. And I was the body at the time. And so I did it. And then more and more of my time transitioned from customer service to marketing. And then 2020 hit, and Tyler, the CEO, sat me down. He's like, look, we're getting a little more serious now. I'm going to give you 6 months to prove yourself. I'll give you the head of marketing role. If you screw it up, I'm going to hire somebody else. If you do a good job, you can stay. I'm like, all right, sounds good. I was still in school full time, by the way. So.
All right. Wow.
Anyway, so that was kind of like my proving period. And it just so happened that COVID hit, which was really good for a lot of e-com brands. And
yes, it was.
So we grew a lot. And that year, I think we went from 7 million to 35 million. And it was all because I was full-time marketing.
Incredible.
Yeah. Anyway, I haven't lost the job yet. So that's kind of the story.
You are a humble man. You are a humble man, George. But I totally agree with you. Man. I think marketers got to bet on the right horse. And
for sure.
Whether you got in and you bet on the right horse, and you made it work, and there is a real element of, I kind of liken it to athletes. The best coaches have the best players.
Yeah.
And if you get in there, you got a great product, you think this thing's got momentum, and then you push in all the chips and you're
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I love it.
It was really good timing for me. I mean, really very, very lucky to have this opportunity right out the gate. But
There's always some luck, but there's skill too. I know that much. Go
A
ahead,
little bit,
Kyle.
a little bit.
Could you talk to us a little bit about the Bedrock Challenge? Because I think you put this together. I've heard that there's been over 85 million impressions because of this. Could you talk a little bit about this? Because I mean, as a brand owner, getting 85 million impressions is just banana sandwich. So please talk about this a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. It's a weird campaign. It's funny, like everyone talks about the Bedrock campaign, and I'm like, but yes, let's dig into it. So I initially had the idea. We were talking about reaching like a younger consumer. We launched some products that serve that customer, and I was like, let's do something on a campus. So I actually went to like some people at UVU, and I was like, hey, I want to do this Bedrock challenge. Believe it or not, in the same spot where the Charlie Kirk thing happened.
Wow.
But that was like, that's where we were going to do it. There's going to be a lot of traffic walking by, a lot of people seeing it, a little bit of a spectacle. And then the timing wasn't working out. It was like, there's a lot of, they were actually stoked on the idea and we were going to do it there, but it was summertime. So we were in between semesters. We wanted to wait till fall. So I'm like, screw it. Let's just pick 5. The premise of it, let me backpedal. The reason the idea came to be is I was talking to Taylor Holiday. I have to give him his flowers. I just, taken a lot of money from him on the golf course.
All right. Which is hard to do. That's hard to do.
Yeah, it's hard to get money out of him. Not hard to beat him at golf. But so we were driving back to the to the hotel, and he's like, "Look, you gotta do something interesting. Like everyone's doing the same thing, which is so true, dude. Like Twitter. I'm not super active on Twitter, but everyone talks about media buying strategy. Everybody talks about. It's like, come on, like." Let's do something that's a little more unique, that's not the same thing everybody else is doing, and see if it does anything, right? And so, the conversation we had was like, just do something, right? Figure something out that's like going to maybe make waves or get people interested. And so that's how Bedrock came to be. And then our MVP of Bedrock was I just picked 5 funny employees and put them on air mattresses.
I love that.
And I was like, let's see if anyone even watches this. And we live streamed it. And there was like a surprising amount of people who watched that first season and were like invested in it, calling in. Yes. It was wild, right? I think we probably got 15 million impressions on that first one with just the employees.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, I think we have something. It looked terrible. It looked cheap. There's always like this internal, you have a lot of people who care about the brand and they're like, this is stupid. This isn't on brand. And so you're fighting those battles, trying to just convince them that it's okay. It's not doing anything. And then once it wins, everyone's like, okay, I think we can roll with this. So we did another season, and I think that one was the one that got 85. I think they both have been 70 to 85 million impressions, like the legit seasons.
Brother.
Wow.
And the first one we did that was legit, we gained like 70 something thousand followers on TikTok. Live stream was going crazy the whole time. And so we came out of that one. Let's double down. We spent too much money, if I'm being totally honest. Like we had talent appear on the show. We had, you guys watch Secret Lives?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Okay. You do watch it. All right. So Demi and Whitney were on that season.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. No offense to them.
It was a nightmare. Probably logistically, it was a nightmare. Yeah.
Logistically, it was a nightmare. It just changes the dynamic when you have like paid talents and like.
Sure.
I see.
It was interesting. It was a learning experience for us, and they cost a lot of money. So we were targeting like a CPM goal of like sub $3, and so when you start adding in high talent costs, it gets a little bit harder to
set up.
But still successful. And now we're planning another season for May, which I'm really excited about. We actually brought on like a consultant who does YouTube strategy. I'm not going to live stream it. It's going to all live on YouTube, and try to, and we're doing a lot more. So we have like the CETV concept. That's what we're calling it. But we're really leaning into content that's engaging, that people want to watch for their own entertainment, and trying to build 2 things. One, like a lower barrier to entry into the brand. So if someone doesn't want to buy the product, but they can still engage with us and be part of what we stand for as a brand by watching our content and subscribing to our channels.
Exactly.
And then two, we want to own some media.
Yeah.
We're going to have a few
100%.
podcasts. We're going to have a few things that we try rolling out this year. And look, it could not work, but at the same time, to my point earlier, tired of doing the same thing. Everyone's doing the same thing. We got to take swings. We're all very comfortable spending tons of money on Meta. A lot of discomfort around taking actual risk.
It's always the case. It's always the case. But man, this has been a home run, and I applaud the effort to lean into this more. It's kind of like a point that Oren John brings up quite often. There's just too few brands that are doing interesting things. Yeah. And this one is interesting, which is why you got so many eyeballs.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that hard to stand out. And I give the idea like a 7 out of 10, right? Like, it's a cool thing. It worked really well, but like there's so much more we could be doing. And instead we all just spend millions of dollars into this, this digital marketing engine, which is good. But in my opinion, that cannot be the moat, especially with AI, especially with everything changing. Like, you're not going to win as a brand by being the better media buyer. And honestly, product is, everyone has the same products now.
Yeah.
So what is your differentiator? It's got to be content. It's got to be the brand. It's got to be, so you can't really build that through running 8,000 iterations of UGC and Meta.
Yeah.
It's a great take.
I bring this up on the show a ton because I'm a huge fan of what they're doing on YouTube, but I always bring up Huckberry for what they're doing on their YouTube channel. And I think totally this is exactly the path. Could you talk a little bit more about how you guys are seeing kind of YouTube as a channel, how you're approaching that long form? Because it is a really big lift. It's not something you can go in casually and just say, we're going to have a YouTube channel. You really have to commit resources. You have to commit serious hours, a ton of ideas around it. Could you talk a little bit more about it?
100%. Yeah, I think YouTube organic specifically, which feeds into paid, but we want to get organic right first. It's a ton of work, and it's very different than everything else we're doing. Honestly, I think that's what stops most brands. You're very comfortable in your processes. You don't have time or the people to go chase a net new opportunity. With AI, hopefully people use the free time that they have to go do some more unique things. But anyway, YouTube for us, we really started thinking hard about this about 3 months ago. And like housing all of our content on YouTube, and really don't go look at it right now. It's terrible. It's a disaster.
Right. We won't do it.
I hesitate to be an expert on YouTube because I'm not, but we've hired a consultant who is an expert, and she's working pretty much full time on our content. We spent a lot of time ideating and coming up with probably 50 show concepts. We've trimmed that down to 10 that we're actually going to move forward with. Started filming those, which is a lot of work, and a lot of work. You think about your creative teams, and you either have them building meta ads or you have them doing something like this. For the amount of time it takes to produce one YouTube video, they can do 100 ads for Meta. So there's definitely trade-offs, right? But we're going to do it. We're leaning in, and right now we're casting hosts for a podcast we're going to run. We have a casting agency for it's been a process. I think I should come back on in like 3 months and tell you what I think, because at that point I should have some sort of signal whether it was worth it. But it's definitely taken a lot of work. The one thing with Bedrot too is I realized we did it the first time and it took up 10 employees' time.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Bandwidth is
it was a freaking nightmare, and it was a big distraction and totally disruptive to the core engine. So this time I'm like, look, only 2 people. There's 2 people that are involved, and then no one. And everyone wants to be involved. Everyone's like, oh, that sounds like fun. I want to participate. Until you're doing it, and you're there for 18 hours a day. But so you have to figure out how to isolate this group and not let it be disruptive to the business. And you actually have to allocate a lot of resources, both capital and human, to be successful. And I'm not successful yet. So we'll see what I say at the end of the year.
Well, I think you're sandbagging yourself a little bit here, George.
But on YouTube, we are not successful, but we'll see.
Yet.
Well, I
think you guys are getting there.
I think there's a hidden point in here that I just want to underline because you had to do some inside selling to make
Yeah.
this concept happen, and marketers have to do that all the time.
Yeah.
YouTube was a kind of a difficult sell for me when I was at Bruce Bolt. But if you can show results like you did first round with the Bedrock Challenge, if you can show results, then it's easier to get that buy-in for round 2, round 3, keep building
100%.
up. One thing that I really wish that more capacity strapped teams would do is simply take all the short form that you're putting out on TikTok and Instagram and all the places and literally just dump it into the YouTube channel. Just dump it into the shorts. Just dump it in there and see what happens. We did that. We did that for 18 months when I was at Bruce Bolt while we were working on, developing some content. Let's invest in this more. And that got us to like the number 2 or 3 baseball brand on YouTube. Just by literally dumping the shorts that we were already making, just dump them into the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So there are some ways to level
Feels
up.
like a no-brainer. Every brand should be doing that.
Exactly.
Content. Go get the impressions on YouTube.
Exactly. One question that I have, George, is let's talk about your product mix, like on the back side of this. When I think about bringing in these new audiences through this unique content that you're developing, I just know you for the bedding. That's what I know you for.
Yeah.
But when I get on the site, there's like all this other stuff. I mean, you guys got lounge wear, you got other, you got shorts, you got stuff that men and women are wearing. You guys have really like broadened your categories here as far as what you're producing. Did you see? I mean, number one, was that like tied to that, or have you creating content around that, or what have like distribution of product mix, what's it looked like as a result of bringing more and newer audiences into you guys like sphere?
Yeah, I mean that has changed dramatically over like the last few years. I don't know if it's because of the Bedrock per se or because of the efforts we made last year to reach that younger audience. Our mix has changed. Like 60% of our revenue comes from bedding, and then the 40% comes from other categories. So we're relatively evenly distributed across apparel, bath, and bedding. And that honestly is a huge initiative for this year. Still leaning into that younger audience, moving more apparel. We think if we can stand up the apparel category, like the LTV implications, and
totally.
The apparel businesses are tough, but there's also some benefits. And so that's a big focus, and that's a big reason we're going all in on this CETV concept.
I love it.
I love that.
Great.
I mean, so I would consider you guys premium because of the price points that we're talking about here. Yeah. How do you deal with that? So you are not an impulse purchase. I mean, people really need to have education. They need to have all these different touch points. How are you dealing with that? Because you are a higher price point. You are I would consider you a luxury brand. How are you dealing with all of that as CMO moving forward, where a lot of brands are playing it, quick and fast on TikTok Shop and the instant purchases, and you need to have it right now and big discounts. You guys have a much longer cycle that you're dealing with.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the reason for the product diversification, is to allow for different price points, different entry points.
That's a good point.
We have we have socks that are $30, right? So
there we go.
That's expensive for socks maybe, but we do have different entry points. And I think as you mature as a brand, there's more and more people that have heard of you. So yes, the process is long, but they get served the ad on TikTok. They might have already heard of us a year or two later, and now this is the purchase, and it may come across as an impulse purchase, but we've spent time and years building up the brand recognition to capture those sales. But I don't think that really answers your question. The main answer is different products at different price points for different products.
Yeah, that's smart. If I can't afford a $6,000 blanket, then let me get some $60 socks.
Yeah, you can afford the socks.
Let me get in on them socks. So man, that makes a ton of sense. And I love what you're doing, bringing in the younger audience. And I know a lot of people bag on Gen Z, and there's things to bag on in every generation. But if you're neglecting Gen Z entirely as a buying category, as a generation to be selling to, then you're leaving a lot of money on the table. I mean, there's a lot of money on the table, and I know there's plenty of millennial moms in Utah and everywhere who want all these blankets,
100%.
but there's got to be a whole lot of Gen Z daughters and Gen Z sons who want to drape themselves in Cozy Earth, rock Cozy Earth when they're snuggling up by the fire on Christmas break, etc. And I love the strategy that you're taking to get out.
All right,
good.
That's
awesome, George.
You got the stamp of approval. I like it.
You got it. You got the Ecom Cowboy stamp of approval from us for sure. Well, man, brother, we appreciate you making the time and coming on here. We got to have you back. And Taylor comes and plays a little golf in Central Texas. He plays a little golf in Central Texas every now and again.
Where are you guys at? Are you?
I'm in Austin. I'm in Austin Collins in North Carolina.
Okay, cool. I'm from Arkansas. I'm a Southern boy, so
I'll really from Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm from Arkansas. So
where in Arkansas?
I'm from a small town, Mena, Arkansas. You've never heard of it, but southwest corner of the state.
Oh, southwest corner. Nice. Okay, well, you're not far from Texarkana.
Not far. I'm actually, I'm pretty close to Texarkana, and then my wife's from Dallas, so I'll have to make my way down. We'll play some golf.
We got to do it. We got to do it. Taylor and Aaron Warshawski can testify to my golf skills.
Aaron was raging out on that round. You can tell. that's who I got.
That seems pretty on brand.
A lot of money from Aaron. So
that seems extremely on brand.
I almost became a hog. I almost went and played football at the U of A. I did not though. I ended up playing at Texas instead. But
I didn't know you were a big football player. I don't really know a lot of his background. I need to do some research.
I think it's time. I think it's time we come and play a little golf in Central Texas, brother, and we'll make it happen. And we appreciate you coming on. Look forward to having you back, George. We love what you're doing, brother.
Thanks, guys. Super nice meeting you. Yeah.